The V3, German, Vergeltungswaffe 3, Retribution Weapon 3, was a German World War II supergun working on the multi-charge principle whereby secondary propellant charges are fired to add velocity to a projectile. The weapon was planned to be used to bombard London from two large bunkers in the Pas-de-Calais region of northern France, but they were rendered unusable by Allied bombing raids before completion. Two similar guns were used to bombard Luxembourg from December 1944 to February 1945. The V3 was also known as the Hochdruckpumpe, High Pressure Pump, HDP for short, which was a code name intended to hide the real purpose of the project. It was also known as Fleissiges Lieschen, Busy Lizzie. Description: the gun used multiple propellant charges placed along the barrel's length and timed to fire as soon as the projectile passed them in order to provide an additional boost. Solid fuel rocket boosters were used instead of explosive charges because of their greater suitability and ease of use. These were arranged in symmetrical pairs along the length of the barrel, angled to project their thrust against the base of the projectile as it passed. This layout spawned the German code name Tausendfüßler, Millipede. The barrel and side chambers were designed as identical sections to simplify production and allow damaged sections to be replaced. The entire gun would use multiple such sections bolted together. The smoothbore gun fired a fin-stabilized shell that depended upon aerodynamic forces rather than gyroscopic forces to prevent tumbling, distinct from conventional rifled weapons which cause the projectile to spin. This resulted in a lower drag coefficient. Development: the origin of the multi-chamber gun dates back to the 19th century. In 1857, U.S. arms expert Azel Storrs Lyman, 1815–1885, was granted a patent on improvement in accelerating firearms, and he built a prototype in 1860 which proved to be unsuccessful. Lyman then modified the design in collaboration with James Richard Haskell, who had been working for years on the same principle. Haskell and Lyman reasoned that subsidiary propellant charges could increase the muzzle velocity of a projectile if the charges were spaced at intervals along the barrel of a gun in side chambers and ignited an instant after a shell had passed them. The Lyman-Haskell multi-charge gun was constructed on the instructions of the U.S. Army's Chief of Ordnance, but it did not resemble a conventional artillery piece. The barrel was so long that it had to be placed on an inclined ramp, and it had pairs of chambers angled back at 45 degrees discharging into it. It was test-fired at the Frankfurt Arsenal at Philadelphia in 1880 and was unsuccessful. The flash from the original propellant charge bypassed the projectile due to faulty obturation and prematurely ignited the subsidiary charges before the shell passed them, slowing the shell down. The best velocity that could be obtained from it was 335 meters per second, 1,100 feet/s, inferior to the performance of a conventional RBL 7-inch Armstrong gun of the same period. New prototypes of multi-charge guns were built and tested, but Lyman and Haskell abandoned the idea. During the same period, French engineer Louis-Guillaume Perros, one of the pioneers of the motorcycle, had been working on a similar project since before 1860. Perros was granted a patent in 1864 for a multi-chamber gun. In 1878, Perros presented his invention at the World Exhibition of Paris. In 1918, the French Army made plans for a very long-range multi-chamber gun in response to the German Paris gun. The Paris gun was built by Friedrich Krupp AG and could bombard Paris from German lines over a distance of no less than 125 kilometers, 78 miles. However, the French initiative did not reach the prototype stage, as it was discontinued when the retreat of the German armies and the armistice put an end to the bombardment. The plans for the multi-chamber gun were archived, as they had been envisioned to counter the German fire. France collapsed in June 1940 at the beginning of World War II, when the German troops acquired the plans of this long-range gun. In 1942, this patent attracted the attention of August Conders, developer of the Rickling shell and chief engineer of the plant's Rickling Stahlwerk AG in Wetzlar, Germany. Conders thought that the gradual acceleration of the shell by a series of small charges spread over the length of the barrel might be the solution to the problem of designing very long-range guns. The very strong explosive charge needed to project shells at a high speed were causing very rapid degradation of the gun tubes of conventional guns. Condors proposed the use of electrically activated charges to eliminate the problem of the premature ignition of the subsidiary charges, the problem experienced by the Lyman Haskell gun. Condors built a prototype of a 20 mm multi-chamber gun using machinery readily available at the Wetzlar plant, machinery that was producing tubes of this caliber for the Flak 38 anti-aircraft guns of 20 mm. The first tests were encouraging, but to get the support of the Ministry of Arms, Herman Rickling had to present to Albert Speer Condor's project of a cannon capable of firing on London from the coast of the Pas-de-Calais. The project intended to use 2 batteries to crush London under a barrage of hundreds of shells per hour, shells of 140 kilograms, 310 pounds, with an explosive charge of 25 kilograms, 55 pounds. Speer told Adolf Hitler about the proposal in May 1943. After the Royal Air Force, RAF, bombed the Peenemünde Rocket Center on August 17, Hitler agreed to Speer's suggestion that the gun be built without more tests. Condors constructed a full-caliber gun at the Hillersleben Proving Ground near Magdeburg, but, by the end of 1943, he had encountered severe problems both in putting the gun's basic principle into operation and in producing a feasible design for the shells that it was to fire. Even when everything worked, the muzzle velocity was just over 1,000 meters per second, 3,300 feet/s, which was nowhere near what had been promised. Nonetheless, a proposal was made to build a single full-sized gun with a 150-meter, 490 feet, barrel at Misdroy on the Baltic island of Volline, near Peenemünde, while construction went ahead at the Mimoix site in France, which had already been attacked by the USAF and the RAF. The Heereswaffenamt, Weapon Procurement Office, took control of the project by March 1944, with no good news from Misdroy, and Condors became one of the engineers working on the 3 chief problems: projectile design, obturation, and ignition of the secondary charges. 6 different companies produced satisfactory designs for projectiles, including Krupp and Coda Works. Obturation problems were solved by placing a sealing piston between the projectile and the initial propellant charge, which in turn prevented the flash from the charge from getting ahead of the projectile and solved the problem of controlling the initiation of the secondary charges. By the end of May 1944, there were 4 designs for the 150 mm finned projectile, 1 manufactured by Fasterstoff, designed by Fustenberg, and 3 others by Rickling, Condors, Bokemer, Vereenhoek, and Witkowitz Iron Works, ATHEM. Trials were held at Misdroy from 2024 May 1944 with ranges of up to 88 kilometers, 55 miles, being attained. On July 4, 1944, the Misdroy gun was test-fired with 8 rounds, one of the 1.8 m, 5.9 feet, long shells traveled 93 kilometers, 58 miles. The gun burst during the testing, putting an end to the tests. Mimoix site. Major Bocke Festung Pionierstab 27, the Fortification Regiment of LVII Corps, 15th Army, at the time based in the Dieppe area, was given the task of finding a suitable site for the HDP batteries following Hitler's decision that HDP guns should be sited in northern France to bombard London. A study in early 1943 concluded that a hill with a rock core would be most suitable, as the gun tubes could be placed in drifts, inclined tunnels, and support equipment and supplies located in adjacent tunnels. The guns would not be movable and would be permanently aimed at London. A suitable site was selected at a limestone hill about 5 kilometers, 3.1 miles, north of the Hydraquant quarries, near Mimoix in the Pas-de-Calais region of northern France behind Cap Gris-Nez, very close to the French end of the present-day Channel Tunnel, where V1 and V2 launch sites were already under construction. The site was 8 kilometers, 5.0 miles, from the sea and 165 kilometers, 103 miles, from London. It was codenamed Wies, Meadow, and Bouwvoorhuben 711, Construction Project 711, and Organization Todt began construction in September 1943 with the building of railway lines to support the work, and began to excavate the gun shafts in October. The initial layout comprised two parallel facilities approximately 1,000 meters, 3,300 feet, apart, each with 5 drifts which were to hold a stacked cluster of 5 HDP gun tubes, for a total of 50 guns. Both facilities were served by an underground railway tunnel and underground ammunition storage galleries. The eastern complex consisted of 5 drifts angled at 50 degrees reaching 105 meters, 344 feet, below the hilltop. The 5 drifts exited the hilltop through a concrete slab 30 meters, 98 feet, wide and 5.5 meters, 18 feet, thick. Large steel plates protected the 5 openings and each drift had a special armored door. Extensive tunnels and elevator shafts supported the guns and, if the site had become operational, about 1,000 troops from Artillery Abteilung 705 and supporting units would have been deployed at Mimoyux. Artillery Abteilung 705 had been organized in January 1944 under Oberstleutnant George Bortscheller to operate the Wies gun complex. The plans were to have the first battery of 5 gun tubes ready for March 1944, and the full complex of 25 gun tubes by October 1, 1944. A failure occurred, however, at the Misdroy Proving Ground in April 1944 after only 25 rounds had been fired and, as a result, the project was further cut back from 5 drifts to 3, even though work had begun on some of the other drifts. The site was finally put out of commission on July 6, 1944, when bombers of RAF Bomber Command's 617 Squadron, the famous Dombusters, attacked using 5,400 kg, 11,900 pounds, tallboy deep penetration bombs. Luxembourg bombardment. The project eventually came under the control of the SS, and SS General Hans Kammler ordered it to be ready for action in late 1944, assisted by Walter Dornberger. A battery was constructed of 2 shorter guns approximately 50 meters, 160 feet, long with 12 side chambers, and it was placed in the hands of the Army Artillery Unit Artillery Abteilung 705 under the command of Hauptmann, Captain, Patzig. These were sited in a wooded ravine of the Ruhr River at Lampäden about 13 kilometers, 8.1 miles, southeast of Trier in Germany. The 2 guns were aimed west, resting on 13 steel support structures on solid wooden bases on a 34-degree slope. The city of Luxembourg, which had been liberated in September 1944, was at a range of about 43 kilometers, 27 miles, and was designated target number 305. Concrete block houses were constructed between the 2 gun tubes, as well as 10 smaller bunkers to hold projectiles and propellant charges. The assembly and mounting of the Lampäden guns coincided with the final preparations for the Battle of the Bulge. However, the supply of ammunition became problematic due to the state of the German railway network. Time had become critical, and it was decided to use a 150 mm, 5.9 in, finned projectile with a discarding sabot, weighing 95 kg, 209 pounds, and carrying a 79 kg, 1520 lb, explosive charge. The propellant comprised of 5 kg, 11 pounds, main charge and 24 subsidiary charges for a total of 73 kg, 161 pounds. By the time that the Ardennes offensive began on December 16, 1944, Kammler received orders from OB West, German Army Command in the West, to begin firing at the end of the month, and the first gun tube was ready for action on December 30, 1944. 2 warm-up rounds were initially fired, followed by 5 high-explosive shells which were fired in sequence, attended by Kammler. The muzzle velocity was approximately 935 meters per second, 3070 feet/s. The second gun tube was brought into operation on January 11, 1945 and some 183 rounds in total were fired until February 22, 1945, with 44 confirmed hits in the urban area. The guns were not particularly effective. From the 142 rounds that struck Luxembourg, total casualties were 10 dead and 35 wounded. Fate. One of the two Lamp Aden guns was dismantled on February 15, and firing ceased on February 22, when U.S. Army units had advanced to within 3 kilometers, 1.9 miles, of the Lamp Aden site. A second battery of guns began to be deployed in January 1945 at Buell, aimed at Belfort in support of the Operation Nordwind offensive. One gun was erected before the failure of the Nordwind offensive put the site at risk, and the equipment was removed before firing could begin. There were other proposals to deploy batteries to bombard London, Paris, Antwerp, and other cities, but these were not implemented due to the poor state of the German railway network and a lack of ammunition. All 4 HDP guns were eventually abandoned at the Rickling Works in Wetzlar, and artillery Abteilung 705 was re-equipped with conventional artillery. The disassembled gun tubes, spare parts, and remaining ammunition were later captured by the U.S. Army and shipped to the United States, where they were tested and evaluated at the Aberdeen Proving Ground, Maryland, and finally scrapped there in 1948. V3 Museum. The Mimoix Museum allows visitors to view the galleries, in various stages of construction and bombing damage, remains of the guns, a small-scale V3 replica, and examples of machinery, rail systems, and tools employed. The site also contains memorials to the slave laborers who were employed by the Nazis to construct it and to the airmen killed in action during the destruction of the base. The Misdroy site also has a museum. Scale model of V3 gun. Hugh Hunt of Cambridge University, together with explosives engineer Charlie Adcock, created a working scale model of the V3 gun and was able to prove the ignition of the propellants was done by the advancing gas behind the projectile. Type artillery. Place of origin Nazi Germany. Service history. In service 1944–1945. Used by Nazi Germany. Wars World War II. Production history. Manufacturer Krupp. Specifications. Length 130 m, 430 feet. Shell 140 kilograms, 310 pounds. Caliber 150 mm, 5.9 in. Elevation fixed. Traverse fixed. Rate of fire 300 shells per hour, projected. Muzzle velocity 1,500 meters per second, 4,900 feet/s. Maximum firing range 165 kilometers.
Please subscribe and thanks for watching.